All right. Well, welcome. Let's just get started. I am so glad to have you guys on. I'm going to keep watching to make sure that I admit all the new people jumping in. But thank you for joining our June IOME event. Did you all see how I just snuck this June event in on the very last day? Because if I can be completely transparent, it just got away from me. And then I had a week of vacation and it was like, oh boy. So Kendra to the rescue. I'm so excited to have her be part of our event tonight. I cannot wait. I'm so excited. So most of you are IOME members. I'm so excited to see most of you on. And then there's a handful of business partners as well. And so I want to, and then there's a couple I think that don't know as much about IOME, but they're like, I need help with organizational tips. And so that's why you're here. So I'm super excited to have all of you guys. So I do want to introduce a little bit more about who I am really quickly, a little more on what IOME is all about, and then we will do a quick introduction round because the whole point of our events, you guys, is connection. And I'm very passionate about creating a space that we can communicate, that we can connect, that we can love on one another, especially during a pandemic. So I'm so glad that you guys are on. So really quickly, my name is Becky Lawrence, and for those of you that don't know, I think there's a couple that I don't know. And so I'm a licensed counselor, and I am the founder, very proud founder of IOME. It is an IOME instead of an IOU, and we are so focused on creating guilt-free self-care. And we do that by partnering with incredible businesses, like a few of them on tonight. We do that by partnering with these businesses to offer discounted self-care services or products to you as a member. And so there's a lot of value in the discounts. Yes, for sure. We all love to save money, but I think there's even more value when it comes to just in case there's some background noise. Okay. But I think there's even more value in what we do because it's a vetted process. So when you hear somebody is partnered with IOME, you can bet your bottom dollar that they are awesome, that they're going to create a wonderful experience, customer service experience for you. They have an incredible product, service, whatever it is. I truly do take a lot of pride in that vetted process. So that is a big piece of my heart in creating guilt-free self-care. And then the other big piece of what we do is mental health and creating quality self-care on a consistent and regular basis, because I believe with my whole heart that we can prevent certain destructive thoughts, destructive emotions, behaviors, conflict. We can prevent so many of those things, just like we can prevent physical illness, right? We know that if we exercise and eat healthy, we can prevent things like heart disease. And if we also do self-care on a consistent and regular basis, we can prevent things like depression. And so that is really where my heart is, in more of an indirect way with IOME, but that's a little bit of the behind the scenes of what we're doing and what we are so excited about for what we're here for. So that's a little bit about what we do. We have 3 different types of memberships. I can talk to you a little bit more at the end about that, but this is not what it's all about. If you guys had questions about what it means to be a member, talk to me, message me. I'd be happy to chat with you more about it, because we're excited to hold you accountable to your own guilt-free self-care journey. We're excited to create goals with you to help solidify and to reach those goals, to figure out what it is that you need or want in life, and to just help you through it. We beautifully blur the lines between coaching and counseling all in one. So super fun. I love it so much. Okay, so I would love to just have a quick introduction with each person. I have you guys all in the, what's it called, like the gallery view, so I get to see everybody at once. And so I'm just going to go down the line, and if you will just, because of time's sake, we don't want to be here all night, but if you'll just say your name, tell me if you're a business partner. If you're a partner, tell us what you do. If you are a member, tell me one of your favorite things about being a member. And if you're brand new, tell me why you're here. Why did you decide to join our event? Okay. So I'm going to pick on Rachel first. Is that cool? You're my top one. Sorry. Oh, let me unmute you.
Okay, can you hear me now? Yeah. Okay, perfect. My name's Rachel Moore, and I've been a member, I think, for about 2 months. And the thing I love the most is it's almost like it's permission for goals and self-care all in one, which is pretty amazing.
I love that. That's such a good answer. So good. Perfect. Thank you, Rachel. We're so glad to have you on board. Francesca is next.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yep.
Okay. So I'm a business partner. I am an essential oil educator with doTERRA Essential Oils. I also write a blog documenting how we are starting our farm here down the road from Becky. I am very passionate about sharing essential oils with people, especially with families. I love empowering moms to take control of their family's health, of their health, their children, and it really ties well into the self-care aspect. Yeah, so that's what I do. You can find me on Instagram. I'm not very active on Facebook. I know everybody else is, but you can find me on Instagram at 3 Seeds Farm, or you can head over to my website at 3seedsfarm.com. And I have a tab there that talks about essential oils. So yeah.
I love it. So glad to have you on board, Francesca. All right, Miss Karen, do you mind going next? Oh, let me get you unmuted. Okay. Oh, I think we're playing tag. Go ahead.
Well, it's so good to see you. I'm so happy that I'm here. My name's Karen Kramer. I work for Harmony Foundation. I'm not a business partner. I guess we're friends.
Yeah.
I would say we're friends, and I'm a new client, and this is my very first opportunity to join in.
Yay. So glad you're here.
Yeah, I'm really glad. I absolutely need the accountability around a lot of things right now. So with COVID has added to that, and yeah, I need the support, and I'm in the helping field, and it's been super hard.
Oh, I'm so glad you're here. So good. Thank you. You're great. Okay, Miss Penny, are you able to chat? Oh, shoot, I'm not hearing you, Penny. I'm going to go on to Renee.
I had muted on my phone too.
You're good. Yep.
Double mute. I'm Penny Wilson. I'm a registered dietitian up in Vail, and so I help people learn to love food and embrace their bodies. And I am a potential business partner looking at expanding up here. And I'm actually I spin yarn, fiber into yarn. So that's what I'm doing while I'm listening. Here's my fiber. And so,
awesome.
Yeah, excited to be here and join you guys.
Yeah, we're so glad to have you. I'm so excited to be launching in that Vail Valley area and connected to more incredible businesses like yourself. All right, Miss Dr. Renee, come on.
Hi, so I'm Renee and I work with parents. I help calm the chaos that often comes with having children. And I'm here for the first time. I won a membership in late February at Startup Week and haven't had a chance to do anything yet. So I'm very excited to be here and also maybe a potential business partner.
Yes, so excited. And also, what do you do for fun and birthday parties and such? Because it's just really cool.
When I'm not a professional psychologist, I'm a professional clown.
Isn't that the coolest thing? I love it. And you had your nose right there.
Oh, yes, always.
Thank you so much. We're glad you're here. Stacy, can you jump on and just share a quick intro?
Hi, everyone. I'm Stacy Swanson, and I'm a life insurance provider and a money coach. So this is also my first video or Zoom meeting with everyone. Thank you, Becky. And I am a potential partner too. So looking forward to joining the group soon.
Yeah. So glad. Stacy and I met up the other day. It was so much fun to chat about all things money and life and business partnerships. It was great. So glad you're on. Thank you. Megan, I don't know if you're able to jump on and share, but I'd love to if you can.
All right. Yes. I was taking the baby out of the bath.
No, you're good.
He's not really a baby. He's 2. So anyway, it popped up on my Facebook feed or events that people were interested in that I'm friends with. So that's how I found you.
Yay.
So I also live in the Vail Valley. and usually work for Vail Resorts. And right now I get to be a stay-at-home mom.
Yay.
So,
okay.
yeah.
Oh, I'm so glad. Well, thanks and welcome thank you for being here. Welcome, all of the things. I think I heard chickens in the background. That's awesome. I think it was Nikki. Anyways, thank you so much, Megan, for being here. We will connect afterwards because I'd love to get to know you more too, okay?
Awesome. Great.
Perfect. Miss Barb, of all the days that Barb is here, this is a big deal, and she'll probably quickly tell you why.
Yes, because I have a meeting in 2 minutes. But
Do you? Okay.
yeah. So I'm an IOME member and just a good friend of Becky's. We met through our Mary Kay businesses, and so I'm currently shutting down my fiscal year and my month end. So it's a little crazy here. And I definitely need organization. If you saw my office, it's a total wreck, but just that accountability and just learning some new mindset skills for that. So I'm glad to see that this is going to be recorded. So when I have to jump off, I can jump back on. Appreciate you all and all your expertise. And it'll be a great video, I'm sure. So thanks, Becky.
Thank you, Barb. It means a lot that you're on. Thank you. Okay, who's next? Tina.
Hi, I'm Tina. I've been a member since the very beginning. I was part of Becky's pilot program. Absolutely love IOME. I think the best thing I like is the get-togethers every month. When we could do it without being virtual, it was nice to meet other people and communicate with other women, having a lot of the same self-care issues that I have. I've learned a lot with the program.
Yeah, so good. You're just incredible. One of my favorites. Thank you so much, Tina, for always being on and taking advantage and being intentional about it and showing up. That's a big deal. Okay, thanks. Kristen, are you able to chat? Hi, you're still muted. Oh, there you are. Okay.
Here I am. So I'm Kristen. I'm a licensed massage therapist. I'm a business partner in Broomfield, so new Denver chapter with Becky. And I actually really love organization. I think it's what's gotten me pretty far in my business. I work with private clients in my private practice in Broomfield. But with that said, I always feel like there's more to learn. I feel like I can always take it to another level. People would say I'm very, I don't know, we'll say anal retentive. Can I say that on Zoom?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
You can say whatever you want to.
Yeah. but I think that it has got me where I am now, and it's served my business well, and there's always really good things to learn. And my time is always very precious, and so if I can manage that better, that would be good for me too.
Absolutely. That's so good. That's inspiring too for us business women, men, whoever it is, because I think it would help a lot of us to be more organized. So thank you. So glad you're on, and thank you for being one of our founding partners in Denver. So excited. Can't wait. I'm going to make a road trip and get a massage. Definitely. Perfect. And then I think last but not least, we have Kim. And so I have to formally introduce her really quickly. So she is our brand new trained supporter within IOME. She is a licensed clinical social worker, incredible, has a beautiful resume working with some really beautiful families and doing a lot of incredible work within family systems, some tougher situations for sure. And so I think she's excited to be able to be part of IOME. So Kim, why don't you just introduce yourself really quick and just share one thing you are excited about this IOME venture.
Hi all, thanks so much for letting me introduce myself. I'm really excited to get going. I just started really this week getting everything set up. So I'm looking forward to meeting you all and joining in on these events and taking full advantage. What really drew me to IOME is the self-care piece. It's really big, especially as Becky mentioned, a lot of children and systems and families work is my background. So a lot of trauma and secondary trauma, and that's kind of been a passion of mine, is working and prioritizing self-care for people. So I'm really looking forward to getting to know each of you more.
Yes. That was so good. Thank you so much for being on. I love that you recognize it's good for us too, even though like I'm, organizing the event, if you will, but I get to sit back and be able to take these tips and walk away with them and implement them. And it's good for my self-care too. So us business partners get to reap so much benefit from this too. All right, you guys. Well, I am so excited because I have the honor and the privilege of introducing officially Miss Kendra there. And so I have a few fun facts about her. So Kendra is the owner and founder of Hope Coaching, which specializes in home and financial organizational coaching. Kendra has always been passionate about being organized and running her workplace and home efficiently so she can focus on things that she loves the most. Isn't that all what we should aspire to? She loves working with busy women who are wanting to control the chaos and to live a more stress-free and joyful life that allows them to spend their energy in the areas that they love the most as well. Along with the Hope Coaching that she's created, Kendra is also part owner and kind of like a badass, I'm just going to say it, in a construction company, because she is just incredible when it comes to her business skills and her business sense. So she has, let's see, a wonderful, supportive husband, 2 teenage boys who keep her busy and constantly moving, I'm sure. And as a business owner and financial manager, Kendra has a lot of experience working with experience with paperwork and financial organization. Kendra has been coaching couples and individuals for several years and enjoys working with people to help them achieve their goals in all things organization. And if I can give a personal testimony, Tyler and I came to her when she was a very beginning partner with us, and we just threw her a mess of finances and said, help us create a budget, hold us accountable. And she did that in such a beautiful and kind way. And I often will get intimidated by working with anybody, financial advisor or fancy pants people, and because we are, it's just not one of our strengths. And I can testify that Kendra was so incredible and just so supportive, and she met us where we were, without judgment, with encouragement and accountability, and had some great ideas. And since then, Tyler and I have really done an incredible job compared to what we were doing before. So I am so grateful. Kendra is one of my dear friends, and also a business partner. And so I'm going to turn it over to you, friend.
All right, there we go. Well, hello everybody, and it's so great to be here, and thank you, Becky. I'm just honored to be connected with IOME as both a business partner and a member. And I think this is just such a great platform. I think as busy women, no matter what age we are, sometimes we just need that like forced environment to come together and connect, because we're kind of, just going in a lot of different directions all the time. And I think it's nice to have these things that kind of force us to get in a group where we have a lot of the same struggles, the same things that we're excited about, the same goals, and we can kind of bounce those off of each other. So I think this is such a great platform, and I'm just honored to be here and be presenting tonight. And so we're going to talk about, all things organization. And usually, some people are like, I'm out, click, because it can be a difficult task for a lot of people. So growing up, I was the kid that would clean their closet for fun. My mother is just a blessed woman. I tell her all the time, yes, I cleaned my closet. I organized it. That's my idea of a good time. So still today, my family's like, all right, mom's in the pantry. She's having the time of her life right now. And so let's just get out of her way. So that's me. But through that, I've learned that most people aren't like that. Most people, it's a daunting task. They hate it. It just gets out of control. They don't want to deal with it. And then what I see happen with a lot of clients that I work with, and just women that I talk to all the time, is that once that one thing spirals, everything starts to spiral. And so my biggest goal when I started Hope Coaching was I did start with the financial coaching platform, because I have a huge passion with helping people get budgets in place, helping them feel that there are ways to reach those goals that they never thought were possible, that there's just so many things that you can achieve that you didn't realize when you just really start to put those goals on paper and really have that accountability piece to push you forward. So then I moved into the organization platform, and nothing hurts me more than to see that woman who is doing so many like amazing things. She's doing 15 things every day, amazing, and she's so hard on herself because she's not doing that one or two things that she thinks she should be doing perfect. And nothing hurts more than seeing that just exhausted, overwhelmed, beat down person. And, you know, I look at that and I say, well, look at all the things, look at all the hats you're wearing, look at all the things you're doing, and be proud of that. And not everything's always going to be just perfectly in order. We know that there's always going to be kind of those things that are going great for us, and then some of those things that are getting pushed to the back that aren't going so great. But when I work with clients, my goal is to really try to help them see that the benefits of getting organized, it really does make a difference in kind of your whole life. So, you know, even though you think of, okay, well, how is organizing my paperwork going to make me a better person? But what I see a lot of times is that, you know, once you start to see that you can get that, I call it control the chaos. Once you can start to control the chaos and kind of get those things under control, you really start to feel empowered to do that in other areas of your life. So whether that's health goals, whether that's just family goals, whether that's at work, whether that's other areas of your home, maybe it's that project you never thought you could do and now you feel empowered to take that on. So I really see that kind of trickle effect when I work with clients, that once they kind of get that one piece in order, it really does spiral in a good way. So that's my goal when I really, you know, when I meet with people, is to find out what is it that they're wanting to accomplish, what's getting in the way of that, and then what can we do to get some steps and some goals in place to make that possible. So those are just kind of the main avenues that I try to hit when I work with clients. So, and so I talked about, I do specialize, the three main areas that I specialize in are paperwork organization, financial organization, and home organization. With paperwork, I see over here on the chat that is like the winner with what stresses people out and what people want to see get organized. And I'm going to share with you tonight some great resources. Feel free to take notes, but don't feel like you have to take notes, because you're going to get all of this at your fingertips, and I'll show you how to get that information. With paperwork, so my background with that is I am a part owner. My brother and I own together a highway construction company, and I work from my home office 9 hours away from our main location. And so I don't go into the office. I don't travel down there. I hate to drive. It's horrible. I don't really like to drive, for one, and I definitely don't like to fly, although I will do it. But 9 hours, I'm like, I'm not going to be checking in at the office very frequently. So when I am in charge of the entire office structure and everything that goes on in the office, from accounts payable to accounts receivable to HR to insurance, everything, that's the hat I wear. I had to say, how am I going to do this from 9 hours away? And what I ended up doing was I ended up converting our paperwork to a digital cloud-based environment. And so we don't even have a file cabinet for our construction company. And personally, I did the same thing. So I don't even have a file cabinet for my personal files. I have converted everything to a digital cloud-based system. And one of the great benefits of that, and I tell this little story, and it just reminds me of why it's so great to get there. So I went to I have two teenage boys. When my oldest turned 16, we went to the DMV, and he had to get, or I think he was 15, he had to get his permit. You had to have his social security number. Well, I did not know his social security number, and apparently at the DMV that makes you a bad mom. And so I'm sitting there going, do you know your social security number? He's like, what's that? And I'm going, oh gosh, I have really failed big time here. So I'm thinking, how am I going to get this? I don't want to leave and then I have to come back and take number 52 and sit there and wait 2 more hours. And so I remembered, wait, everything's in the cloud on my Dropbox. I have the app on my phone. I went onto my phone, clicked on it, found my old tax form, pulled it up, and there's my son's social security number. And I gave it to the lady in like less than 5 minutes. And so problem solved. I have all of my pictures in the cloud as well. So I have scanned in every single year of photos, or we have a lot of digital photos that we take on our phone. So I've saved them by year and then by event. So when it's time for my son to graduate high school and I have to do one of those cute little boards with all his little pictures throughout the year, I can print those in less than 10 minutes or send them to the Walgreens or whatever in less than 10 minutes. So there's so many benefits in doing that. There's really only a handful of papers that you have to have in original format. And on my free checklist that I'm going to guide you to, I show you how to find that. How do you know what you have to have in original format? And so it's enough that it fits into like a little accordion file that I keep in I have a fireproof safe. So I have a little accordion file, my fireproof safe, and then in there is like our insurance or life insurance documents and some of those kinds of things that you have to have in original format, but it's not a lot of things. So that whole process of converting our paperwork to that digital environment in our personal household really only took me, I would say, a couple of weeks, working maybe 20 minutes a day off and on, not every day, but I just took a little bit at a time and was able to get all that paperwork out of our house. I no longer have boxes that I have to move when it's time for tax season. I can save everything on a USB drive, hand that over to the accountant, and we are good to go. It has everything there, all of our donation stuff, and anything that comes in the mail, I just scan it right in, save it to whatever folder it goes to, and then shred the document if it has personal information on it, and it never has to go into a file cabinet. And it's so easy to keep track of your mail that comes in. You don't have the paperwork piled up on your desk or your kitchen counter or whatever that drop space is. I just try to handle it immediately and get it out of the way. So paperwork is one of my big passions that I love to help people with. The beauty of it is I don't really have to come to your house and help you with your paperwork. This can really be done in a virtual setting. I can also, guide you over the phone or just through a step-by-step plan. So it's not difficult, and anybody can do it, and it really does make things a lot easier. So for those of you that put down that paperwork stresses you out, I have the solution. Now, if you're somebody that's a little bit scared of, well, is the cloud safe? And, I don't know if I want my personal information out there. And there are ways, and you just really look and select the option. I've used Dropbox for years, for like 15 years, and I've never had an issue. So Dropbox is very safe. And then, again, you can look at different, there's OneDrive, there's a lot of different platforms you can use. They're very inexpensive to get a lot of storage, which would handle all of your pictures and all of your paperwork. It's very inexpensive. And so it's not something that's a huge task to take on. And so I'm looking over here also, what do I have other than, so we talked about paperwork and pictures. And then we've got, let's see, closet, time management, desk, let's see, yes, great, okay. So we'll touch on closets here in a minute. I just want to go through a few more benefits of being organized, because I talked a little bit about who I am and what I do. And then, of course, the biggest thing is, why do I do it? What made me get so passionate about this that I wanted to turn this into a career? And so when you get these things organized, you really see that you're controlling your environment. You're able to spend more time doing the things that you love instead of doing all of those daunting tasks that you hate. When you are unorganized, when things are, stressful, and you've got the clutter around you and you can't focus, you are just constantly, I call it chasing your tail. And I've done it myself in different areas, but you just really can't ever get traction, and you can't ever get that peace of mind knowing you have those things in control. You just feel like you're always trying to play catch up. So, and when you do finally get that environment organized, and it doesn't have to be like Pinterest, pantry, and everything is labeled and beautiful, and all of your clothes are hanging in the same direction and by color and all those things. I mean, yes, those are some great goals to have if you want it to look gorgeous, but my main goal when I work with people, and even when I'm organizing my own home, is to really make it what would be functional for you and for how your household operates. My goal is not to come in and make it look like a Pinterest board, but my goal is to really figure out what is going to be functional for you and how is this going to make you operate better and allow you to be free to do the things that you love, spending time with your family, doing the hobbies that you love, going hiking, going biking, taking on a new project, but the things that you love to do instead of the things that you have to do. So that's the difference with getting that environment controlled. You create a more peaceful home. So if those of you that are mamas, I can say that, you know, even though my kids know that when I come around with my little baskets and I'm getting ready to organize something, they're like, all right, Mom, we're out. We're going to McDonald's. We don't want any part of this. But when they come home, I've heard them say things like, Mom, thank you for making our house look so pretty. Thank you for having things organized. It's so easy to find what I need when I'm leaving for school in the morning. Anytime I need something, I can call you and you know right where to tell me where it is. Thank you for holding me accountable for keeping my own room clean. Some of my friends' rooms are slobs, and I just feel so much better when I have people over and my room looks nice. So it's nice to get those little compliments, even from teenage boys, and they can be some of the most difficult people to organize. I've got one that's great and one that's like a tornado went through his room, so that's the whole another project. But they really do see the benefit because our household runs a lot more peaceful. We're not just running out the door at the last minute trying to find the keys or the whatever it is we needed, or we forgot that paper and oh my gosh, Mom, we have to go back because I needed to turn that in at school, or whatever it be. It's just a more peaceful and easy environment for them to operate in and for me to operate in. It helps you break bad habits. So being organized helps you break some really bad habits. That classic coming in, you're coming home from work, you're exhausted. You grab the paper, you grab the mail, you come in, you throw it on the counter. 4 days worth of mail is there. Maybe there's a jury summons there, you can see it, but you're not gonna look because if it's at the bottom, we don't have to worry about it, right? So we're just gonna leave it there. But just that, knowing that then eventually you're gonna have to go deal with that. And that can be more difficult than just taking those 3 things that came in the mail and dealing with them in the moment and having that clean surface in your kitchen and fixing dinner and being able to finish that up and sit down and have a glass of wine or read your book or have that cup of tea or just visit with your husband or whatever that be, and just have that more peaceful environment instead of that stack of mail that you can see from the corner of your eye that you know you need to go look through because there's things in there that you need to deal with, but you don't want to deal with it right now and it's going to stress you out for the next 4 days. And then just freedom to be the best you. So I always want women to operate in their strengths, and all of our strengths are different. I have a great friend who does a personality assessment, and I just did it with my husband and I, and our strengths are totally different, but it's really important that we operate in our strengths so that our energy is being used in the right places and that we're being the best that we can be as far as a spouse or a parent or a coworker or a business owner. So when we're operating in those strengths that we have, we are being the best person that we can be and not always that stressed out, grumpy, overwhelmed, tired, exhausted person. So those are some benefits that I've seen along the way. Feel free to hit me up over here in the chat. And if you are somebody that's organized, let me know what are some benefits that you've seen in your life from being organized. And then maybe if you're just completely not organized, what are what's 1 or 2 things that constantly stress you out because you're unorganized, because you just can't get that grasp, you can't control the chaos, and it's always stressing you out. So just hit me in the chat over here. Great. Okay, so let me just make sure I'm doing okay on time. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen here, so you're going to see my computer. What I want to do is show you my website. Oops, Becky, can you make it so I can share?
Yeah, is that, you don't have the green option at the bottom?
When I click on it, it says host disabled participant screen sharing.
Well, that's not nice of me. Okay, hang on. Multiple simultaneously. How do
It's
I?
possible if you go into her square where the little 3 dots are,
Uh-huh.
you might be able to either make her a co-host or invite her to share her
You're
screen.
the best. Okay, hang on. Let me do that really quick.
If that doesn't work, you can open
there we
the
go.
participants box.
Did it work?
I think it worked. Yes.
Okay.
Okay. So. Okay.
There we go. Perfect.
So,
Kendra.
perfect. You guys should see my website here.
So pretty.
Thank you. Thank you. I just wanted to show you my website because one of the things that I am really trying to focus on is offering a lot of free tips. Of course, it's a business, so I do, want to gain clients, and I'll talk a little bit about what, how my paid services work, but I also want to show you though that I do have a lot of free tips because I want to be able to reach out to people and just give them those quick things that can help them in the moment, especially those people that want to take it on themselves and maybe they just need a little bit of guidance. So when you're on my website, if you kind of look down here and it talks about my services and a little bit about me. But if you go back up to the top, if you click on tips, I've been working on this here and I've separated it so far into 4 categories. So I've got pictures. If you click on here, I talk about photo organization. If you want to organize your digital pictures and you click on this checklist, you're going to get this neat little checklist that gives you just some quick little tips and steps to take to get those digital pictures organized.
So
same with printed pictures. So if you have like that box of pictures that you've had since 1980 whatever, and you want to organize those, here's some tips on how to do that. And then same with pantry, you'll see, and they all, when you click on them, they all really look the same, and it's just a nice little checklist for you. And then paperwork and closets, same thing. Now, the other thing that I've done is because paperwork, so it's funny because every time I've done a few Facebook Lives for some other groups, and then I've also did a poll in some Facebook groups that I'm in. And every single time, paperwork is the winner as far as what people want to learn more about and what area if they could choose one area and wave a magic wand, what would that be that they would want somebody to come in and help them get organized? And it's always paperwork by a long shot. So usually pantries and kitchen come up kind of secondary, but paperwork's always the one. So what I've done is I've created and I will show it to you. Let's see here. I think. Oh, anyway, I will show you how to get to it. Mm-hmm. If you go back to my home page, and at the bottom here, no, sorry guys. Okay, right here. Mm-hmm. Download 5 tips for organizing your paperwork. And I'm just going to put in my work email so I can show you guys. And so when you click on here, this is a more detailed guide that is going to walk you through how to convert your paperwork to a digital system. And again, I had to summarize a lot of these because if I would have gone really in depth, it could have been like 15 pages. And I don't know about you guys, but if I see something that long, I'm probably not going to read it. So, so I wanted to create something that was doable. And so anyway, if you go onto my website and you sign up here, you'll get this free guide to help you convert your paperwork to a digital system. It does sign you up in my email list. If you decide later that that's not something you want to be in, you can easily unsubscribe. It won't hurt my feelings, but that's a great way to get that guide that's going to help you see, my paperwork organization tips. So that's my call to action for you today. My other call to action is to follow me on Facebook or Instagram or both. Those are the only 2 platforms I'm on right now. I'm working on kind of doing some Pinterest platforms and some other things, but I had to kind of take one step at a time myself. And so I started with Facebook and Instagram. So if you go in, this is my Instagram, so you'll know you're on the right one. It's Hope_Coach. And from my website, you can get to my Instagram profiles here if you just click on them. And then on my Facebook, it's Hope Financial Coaching on there. So those are ways to you can contact me. Those are ways to connect with me on, let's see, I'll stop sharing my screen there. Okay. On my Instagram and Facebook, my biggest focus is to offer a lot of free tips. So what I'm going to be doing is a free weekly video, and I'm just going to kind of pick at random, whatever I'm feeling that week. So I'm going to do a little video that shows you, like I've already done one that I'm getting ready to pretty it up and put it on there. But it talks about how to organize your linen closet. And I did that in 7 minutes. I think the video is around like 7 minutes or something. I'll have that connected to a YouTube channel eventually. But just some quick, like if you're somebody who wants to tackle this on your own and you just need some ideas, I really give some tips on there on things you can do. And the other thing that I like to focus on with home organization, especially when we're talking about like closets and pantries, we can get really carried away. And I have to like rein myself in, because being the organizational nerd that I am, I want all the pretty baskets and the ones that cost like $50 a piece with a bow, and it's like gorgeous. And I'm remind myself, oh wait, that you have 2 teenage boys. This is not going to look cute for more than 5 minutes. And so there's going to be full of Doritos. It won't even look cute once you put everything in it and put it away. So so I have to rein myself in. But I like to talk about budget friendly, because remember, I am the financial organizational coach as well. So I like to talk about budget friendly ways to get yourself organized. So for those of you that put closets or pantry or kitchen, one of my favorite things to do to get those spaces under control is to use baskets or bins, things that you can corral like items so that they're easy to find. One of my favorite new things is, I call it a spinny thing. My husband's like, it's a lazy Susan, but I call it a spinny thing because I think that sounds fun. But it's just, you know, about this big, and you can, like, I have one in my linen closet, and it has all of our sunscreen and our bug spray. And so the kids, when they're going outside, they just go in there, they twirl that around, find what they need, put it back, everything's there. We all know where the sunscreen is. We're not chasing it down in someone's car or whatever it be. So I give some tips on where I buy those, how to get those. And again, I've even talked about on some of my videos that I'm going to be releasing, I talk about how if you're really in a budget pinching, you know, way, that you can use things like boxes. And you can take like an Amazon box, cut the folder tabs off, and you can get a pretty marker, or you can, you know, print on a computer paper in a pretty font and tape it on there, and it still looks gorgeous, and it's still keeping your stuff corralled and keeping things organized. So when you go onto I have a couple pages I'm working on for my website that I'll be bringing live here soon. And one of them is before and after pictures. So you'll be able to see some examples of homes that I've worked in, and I've gotten permission from the clients to use pictures. And then in my own home, some before and after pictures to show, like, here's what the pantry looked like before, and then here's, you know, what it looked like after I organized it. You'll also have access to my videos through that. So as far as, am I doing okay on time, Beck?
Yeah, you're doing great.
Okay.
I'm
okay.
So excited.
So a little bit about my services. So basically what I do is I don't have any pricing on my website because I do project-based pricing. So I have kind of a 3 different tier approach. So the first tier is we talk on the phone, you can email me or text me pictures, and then I basically put together a plan for you and talk about, you know, here's some examples of some bins or some, you know, organizational things that I would use. Here's where you can get them. Here's some links to that. Here's the steps that I would take. Here's maybe ways I would declutter. Just kind of give you a step-by-step plan, and then you kind of run with that on your own. So I'm more of a guide, like in a coaching sense in that environment, just kind of helping give you some ideas. And I can also do that in home as well. So I would just come in, take some pictures, go back, put together the plan, and then shoot it over to you. So that's kind of my lowest tier service. My mid service is basically I would come to your home. We would talk about whatever area you want to get organized. If it's your whole home, we talk about what's the number one area you want to get in control first, and then start there. And basically, we would work together. So you would be there working alongside me. We would work together. And since you're there helping, that's kind of a mid tier. The highest tier would be more of me, just you saying, okay, I want my pantry organized, do it. I'm going to the movies, or I guess we can't even do that now. I'm going to the lake or whatever. I'll see you in a couple hours. And so I'm basically just there doing it without your help. So that's kind of how my services work. But one exciting thing I'm working on, and time is creeping. I mean, time goes by so fast. I have to like really put the pedal to the metal here, because I'm like, I keep saying this fall, which is like in a few months. So this fall, I'm planning to release a digital course, and the digital course would be like a 4 to 6 week program. And we basically walk through your how to organize a home from top to bottom. So it's kind of that spring cleaning mentality. We would do some live videos. There would be the recorded videos. We would do some check-ins. We can do some live consultations as well, where you can do some FaceTime and take me through your home and give some tips. And so it's kind of a digital course with that personal touch. And that I'm hoping to release, if all goes well, in the fall and in the spring. So my favorite time to spring clean is actually in the fall, when the kids go back to school, because the house has been wrecked for the summer and all their friends have been there. Like, I think, oh gosh, some summers it's like I've had like 15 kids. We can't do that now, but in past summers, I'm like, okay, there's 15 boys in my house. I'm not even going to clean for like a month here. This is ridiculous. So I like to clean in the fall when the kids go back to school, and just have the house fresh for the holidays. I think it's so nice to have things, looking pretty if you have company coming or whatever it be you want to decorate. So, and then also I do spring cleaning as well. So those 2 times we'll have a released video course. So just stay tuned on my website is how you'll find out about that. And so if you do want to, hear more about that, or you want to be in the know, just go ahead and join that email list and check out my website, and information will be released on there. So, so that's kind of my services there. And let's see. Oh, and this is really, really important. For those of you that are IOME members, I do offer a 20% discount on my services. So when we're talking project-based, that can be a huge discount, and depending on the size of the project. So it's 20% no matter which service I'm providing, whether that's financial coaching, home organization, or paperwork. And so for IOME members, because I just love this program, I love being connected here. And so I do offer that discount for my IOME members, that all of you wonderful people out there. So
thank you for that, Kendra.
Yeah, so, and I just have a couple more things, and then I think that's kind of all, unless you guys have some questions. I'm trying to watch over here. I'm not good at multitasking.
You're good.
I think I do remember some of you were talking about time management being something that is an area you want to get more organized in your life. I have some video series I'll be releasing about time management. And the one thing I want to say about time management is, if you don't schedule it in a planner or on your phone calendar or somewhere, it's likely to never happen. And this for me can be everything from, if I know that tomorrow morning it's important for me to wake up early and do some reading and to spend some quiet time just getting some of my own journaling out, just doing some of those things, and maybe I want to go for a walk or do a 30-minute workout or whatever that be. If I don't actually put that in my calendar, I will not do it. And so for time management, it's really important to kind of brain dump, what are the things that are the most important for you? Where do you want to spend your time? Maybe you do a time study for a week and see, where are you spending your time? And then where do you want to make those adjustments? And then getting that on paper, and don't be hard on yourself. If you have goals to get up and do a 30-minute workout and then you hit snooze and you're running late for work, it's okay. It's okay. Don't be hard on yourself, because we are all hardworking, busy women, And it's okay to, if those things slip sometimes, but just make sure that you get those on paper, you get those goals in place so that that's something that that you've put in your schedule, and it's in your schedule because it's important to you. And it's going to make you have a better day and be a better mom and be a better wife and be a better coworker and be a better sister and a better friend. And so put those things on your calendar that are going to build you up and give you that energy. And then lastly, the financial coaching. So that's a big passion of mine. I've worked with a lot of clients, everything from couples to single moms to business people, people starting a business for the first time, or people that have been in business for a few years that they're afraid they might be close to bankruptcy and they need some help getting a financial plan in place. And so with my financial coaching, basically what it boils down to is we sit down and we put together a budget. A budget is the only way that you will ever be financially successful, because you are telling your money where to go instead of your money telling you where to go. And a budget really does hold you accountable. It's very similar to that time management piece where you have to put that on paper to make yourself accountable. If you're married, it's really important that you and your spouse do this together, because this is a piece that will require both of you and both your efforts to work together on this. So with financial coaching, we talk about, when I sit down with a client, we talk about what are your goals? Again, what's preventing you from getting there? And then how do we put some steps in place to get you to where you want to be? And for a lot of people, that's becoming debt-free is their main goal. That's probably the most common one that I hear. And it's, for everybody, it looks a little different. It can be a 5-month debt-free process. It can be a 15-year debt-free process. But the important thing is that you're taking steps to move forward. You're making that an important part of your life, and you're getting that in control to where you are knowing where your money's going, and you're not just surprised at the end of each month. And when I say surprised, I mean in like a bad way. Because before I budgeted, and then the first time I did a budget, and this was like the first 3 months, because it takes kind of a long, 3 months to kind of get really in the groove. It was astounding what our family was spending on eating out. I like to go out and eat, you guys. I don't like to do dishes, and I kind of like to cook, but not like a lot. So, and I hate grocery shopping. So it's like this whole thing is like, it's just easier to go out and eat. But it was astounding at how much money we were spending eating out. And when we finally saw that, we would have never known had we not seen that on paper. And when that screamed at us and we saw that on paper, we really had no other choice but to make some changes and to hold ourselves accountable to that. So all of those things, I hope this was helpful. Do we have time for some questions, Beck, or what?
Yeah.
Do you think?
I sure think so. I would love to open it up. If anybody has a question, just blurt it out right now. And then if somebody else does, type it in. And then that way we can kind of hit them without too much time in between. And if somebody doesn't, I will ask my first question. So as I'm asking, write yours in. I have 2 questions, but I'll start with the one that I think may be more relatable. This sounds so good. Oh my gosh, does this sound like right? Like it's energizing, it's exciting, but then there's also that piece of overwhelm. What would you say when somebody like myself is so excited to tackle something, but then I get overwhelmed and then start to do that shutdown piece, right?
Yeah, that's so common. And I read this book, and it was, I'll try to remember to send a copy and send a picture to you, Becky, and if you want to share it out, but it was The Power of Changing Habits or something like that. And it talked about when we have the things in our life that aren't going well, or the things that are causing us to struggle or be stressed out or preventing us from getting that win, most of the time it's a habit that we formed without even knowing, very subconsciously, a habit that is preventing us from doing those things. So when I'm talking with somebody and they're like, this is great, but I can never do this, I'm just not organized, my house is always going to be organized, I just don't have the energy or the time to deal with it. And typically when we look at what the habits are that are preventing them from being organized or preventing them from tackling that project or just getting that piece in order, usually it's just a string of bad habits that have formed without even realizing it. So we really look at kind of what the behavior is. And that's the same when I do financial coaching. It's what are the behaviors that are causing you to not get over that hump? And how do we overcome that? And so it can be rearranging the flow of your home so that when you come in, you're dropping your mail in a different place, or you're putting your shoes in a different spot, or you're unloading your groceries a little bit different way. And just those tiny little tweaks will help you to feel that energy to know that, yeah, I actually can do this. It's not that overwhelming. It's just changing those few little things that will actually give you that momentum to move forward. Great question.
That's so good. Yes, that's so good. Someone asked recommendations on a scanner.
Yeah.
Great question.
So being in the construction world, you guys, I have tried every scanner, every printer. Oh man, that is like today, my printer right now will not connect to my internet. I'm like, whatever. And I hate to bug my husband all the time because he's the tech guy. And every time he sees me, I'm like, hey, and he's like running out the door because he's like, no, I want to fix your stuff. Right now I'm using an HP. I use like an all-in-one. I honestly don't know why they put a fax machine on there anymore. Does anyone still use a fax machine? No, because you can do them all like through scanning and through email. So, but I use an all-in-one. I think my HP maybe was $130. You can, if you don't have a scanner, you can actually use your phone, or like if you have an iPad, and you can download a scanner app and you can just take a picture and it actually comes out really decent. You can turn it into a PDF. But if you do have like that, if you're like, I'm all in and I'm going to convert my 4-drawer file cabinet to a digital cloud-based paperwork system, I would say it's probably worth the money to go out and buy a decent scanner. You don't have to buy the fanciest one, but maybe one that can take like 10 pages at one time, you know, and pull them through instead of having to lift up the tray. You don't have to have anything super fancy, but I usually just go on Amazon and look at the reviews and buy it based on the reviews. Great question.
Cool.
Okay, do you cover maintenance in your tips? Once we get the pantry organized, how do we keep it that way? Yes. So I have this friend, and I just love my friend. She's like, girl, you got to come organize my pantry and she's like, I'm just saying, we need to be friends after this. So I'm not going to be too hard on you, but just come on over. I will give you wine or whatever you need. And so we had a blast. Actually, it was so much fun. But what we ended up doing with her was we went to the at-home store in Greeley. She picked out she's really a colorful personality. So she picked out these bright pink, and she has boys and men in her house. So she's like, I don't even care. This is my pantry. She has some cute, bright pink, plastic containers that are easy to pull out and wipe clean if you spill something in them. And she had so much fun just picking out a few things that made her happy, that she's like, oh, this will be easy. I can totally unload the chips and stick them in this basket. So sometimes it's just making it fun, and whatever that means for you, whether that's a pretty pink basket or whether that's just maybe it's even some of the things in your pantry don't even need to be in there. So one of the biggest things with staying organized is decluttering. And that's one piece I didn't really touch on tonight, but it's something that I try to work with people on, is really getting rid of the stuff that you're not using. The less stuff you have taking up space, the less stuff you have to find places to put it. And so going on that big decluttering project and just getting rid of those things that you no longer need or use, when you see what's left, you're like, oh, well, this is easy to organize. There's not that much here. I wasn't actually using this whole side over here. So that's one way to kind of help keep yourself organized. Yeah.
Perfect. What other questions? I had a question about Google Drive. Are you familiar with that? Do you recommend it just as much as OneDrive and all the other things?
Yeah, so it's really just kind of personal preference.
Okay.
If you're like, Apple, Mac, I just got my first MacBook, so I'm still learning. But if you're like that kind of a computer person, you might have a certain cloud-based environment that works best with that. I've always been PC with my other business, so I use Dropbox, but it does work on the other platforms as well. I would say when you're choosing a platform, just the things to kind of help you make your decision is make sure it's something that's secure. So make sure it gets good ratings, reviews. You can go onto Google and look up what are the top cloud-based storage systems, and it gives you a little blurb about each one, so you can read about it based on your needs. Some of them work differently for different needs, but I do use Google Drive for my photos. So on my phone, my photos automatically back up to Google Photos, and then I just take them from there and put them into my detailed folders so that I can find them later.
So cool. Yeah. Okay, that's so good. What other questions do you guys have? Any specifics? I know email is one that is very daunting to me. And Kendra and I, we were at dinner the other night, and she gave me some tips already about, like, you don't have to keep every email. And that released me in such a way that I have, like, just been swiping all day and deleting these dang emails. So it was very freeing, Kendra.
Yeah. Email is one I get a lot. And you guys, I run 2 businesses, and I can tell you right now, at the end of today, I only had 5 emails in my inbox. And I'm fully in control of running the whole financial end of the construction company. And then I have my side business and then all the junk emails as well. And I only had 5 in my inbox. So I use it like a working folder. So once I've done something with that email, it goes away. So you can print it to PDF if you feel like you need to save it. And if you guys are like, they're talking a different language,
right.
I can talk to you about that a little bit more. But you can still save the email, but it doesn't have to clutter your inbox. So you're looking through 50 different things and hoping that you didn't miss something important from somebody that needed you to do something.
That's so good. Penny had a question. What about organizing things that you use occasionally once a year, but don't want to get rid of? That's a great question too.
Yeah. So whether that's like your Christmas decorations, or maybe it's the platters that you use when you have those parties or whatever it be. The things that you use infrequently, I usually tell people those are the things you're going to put on the top shelf or the very bottom shelf. My husband's 6'5", so he's like, please do not put anything on the very bottom that I'm going to have to get to, because he's like, I'm not crawling down there on my knees and then trying to get up with this platter or whatever it be. So I put the things that we don't use that often on the bottom or on the very top, because then you're not having to worry about, pulling that out to get to the things you are using. Garage or closet storage systems. I like to use the plastic tubs that keep things secure so you don't get water damage. But just like I have my I love home decorating. So I have like my summer decorations, my fall and winter, and I just kind of keep those in the same area of the home, in each in their own little plastic box, so that I know if it's summertime, I just pull this box out, open it up, I can throw up some decorations or whatever it be.
That's so good. Beautiful. Okay. Any other questions? We still have a few more minutes, and then we'll do kind of a wrap-up round. And so I'd love to hear from each person, and then we'll kind of wrap up early, which is totally appropriate. So be sure to follow, if you're not yet, follow IOME, because Kendra and I are going to come out, and she's going to help me tackle, you see that giant file cabinet? It's giant. And the fact that she said she doesn't have a file cabinet is blowing my mind. So she's coming out and helping me with paperwork. And I will be sharing along the journey and being able to share tips just like she has done. And so, yeah, so make sure that you're following IOME's Instagram and or Facebook, because it'll be on stories either way. But we'll be doing that in probably the next week or two, based on our schedules. So be sure to follow that. I'm so excited because I have a million questions, but I will withhold them until you're there to help me, like, put the paper away, throw it away, burn it, whatever, because we have a little fire pit, so we can do that. But anyways, so good. Holy moly's. I would just be so grateful if each person would just chat really quickly, or if you cannot speak because other things, put it in the box, but just sharing like one of your big takeaways, because Kendra has just shared so many tips And I cannot wait to dive into the tips that she has on her website. I am so excited to learn, because that's always been my biggest struggle, is figuring out, I'll share mine. My biggest takeaway is going to be like figuring out what I need to keep and what I do not need to keep with that paperwork mentality. And that just being released from that, like the permission, because I don't know how many times I've been like, well, maybe, or sometimes I throw it away, or sometimes I keep it. It makes no sense. And so just having more of a system and having that checklist is going to be able to get rid of it in my mental real estate. I only have so much mental real estate. I cannot take up that much on which papers to keep or not. And so that is probably my biggest takeaway, Kendra, is to be able to download your list and be able to know the things that I throw away, burn, recycle, whatever, right? So good. Tina's is loving the Amazon box idea. That is so good. Yes. And there, you use wrapping paper left over to like make it cute too, I was thinking about. Such fun ideas. So Rachel, do you mind if I'm going to pick on you again, because you're at my top corner, just sharing one of your takeaways and any feedback for Kendra?
I think that it's doable. That it really hit home that like I can do it and I don't need to do every area of the house at once.
Yes. Yes, so
Yeah.
good. Beautiful. Thank you, Rachel. Francesca, if you're able.
I think I was kind of right there with you about the digital paperwork, not having a filing cabinet. I think that's a tough one for me, because I also have a gigantic filing cabinet, and same thing, I keep all the papers, but then sometimes I get annoyed and I throw half of them away, but I still have the other half. So yeah, I think every year around tax time I have like the freak out week where I go through and wipe the office clean and organize everything, and maybe that lasts a couple of months, but yeah, I'm gonna think about the digital thing.
So good. Awesome. Thank you. Penny, are you able to share?
Yeah, I think the digital thing really was big. I got rid of my big file cabinet, but I still have a little one with some stuff in it. And not just the digital, but the getting started and to get it done is just, take 20 minutes a day or 25 minutes a day. And so that way it's not this big overwhelming project.
Yeah, that's
makes
so
it totally doable.
That's good. Miss Karen?
Yeah, I could totally relate to you in regards to just the paper. So it's a big deal. I'm 56 years old. I've been hauling a lot of paper around with me, I mean, that's the reality. I was exhausted. And it's organized in its own piles. So
yeah,
very, very organized in many ways, but there's certain places. The other is my closet. Everything's color coordinated, and it's even in like, summer closet, winter closet, but it needs to be purged, and I just can't do it. I just can't let it go. I need some kind of motivation to get rid of it. You gave me some hope around that. Some, just gentle nudging or pushing towards, or just being there, or even saying, I could see a virtual call where you're like, you can't wear that again. No. Yes.
I would never say that to somebody.
I would give you permission to do so. I would hire you to give you permission to do so.
Love that.
I just need someone to speak truth and help me through letting it go.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, I love it. So good. Perfect. Renee.
So for me, the idea of going all digital is terrifying because I love my paper, but it would definitely make life a lot better. I do try to spend 15 minutes in my email a day. I'm on a bunch of lists and I actually read through most of them. But I have started, anytime I sign up for something that might be an ad like Target or King Soopers, it all goes into a specific folder as it comes in. So if I need something, I can look there. Instead of having to go through all the emails. But getting down to 5, because I have thousands, would be a dream. So I think I will continue to tackle the paper, but more importantly, my email after this.
That's good. Yeah, absolutely. Perfect. Let's see who is next on my list. Let's see, Tina. Well, you shared yours. What was it? Let me back down here. Oh, what I just said it. Oh, the box idea. Yes. If you have anything more, just jump in and share. Megan, what about you, hun? Digital. If you have a sec, if you said it's kind of crazy, no worries. So being able to go digital, that's so like, man, that's like a quarter of my office is that
Yeah.
happening.
Well, and you know what? Let me just share my screen real quick one more time, if that's okay, Becky.
Yes,
I
please.
just want to show you guys an example of my digital. Okay, so here's like my this is my family. So here's what it looks like.
Wow,
right?
so pretty.
So like, you know, medical documents, like this would be your health file, one for each member of the family. You know, and then you put any medical bills and payments and any of your, you know, explanation of benefits, or I've got school documents for the kids when they register. You know, each family member has their little documents and things like that. So that's what it looks like. So you create these main folders, and then within the folder, you make subfolders. So like, here's my tax return.
Wow.
You know, and I've got like my donations, you know, and anytime we make a donation, we throw it in there. So this is what it looks like, the finished product, just so maybe that helps it be a little bit less scary for everybody.
Oh, that's so good. Yes, thank you. I'm glad you shared that. Perfect. Let's see Kristen, are you able to share? You're kind of like right up Miss Kendra's alley.
Yeah. Hi.
Yeah.
So I think my biggest takeaway, and Kendra touched on it a little bit, you know, I said at the beginning, I actually really love organizing. So Kendra touched on a couple times, there are things you can just let go. And so for me, I think that's my biggest struggle is like when I'm home. So my husband and I don't have children. And so I feel like I have to organize for fewer people in my life. But when he's not home, that's pretty much what I'm doing. I'm cleaning, I'm organizing. I'm not the sort of person who sits down and watches TV. So for me, it's finding the time where I can just do nothing and be okay with things being unorganized or left alone.
That's good.
That's hard for me too, because of my personality. If I know there's disorganization in a major way, I can't relax. So it's getting those little things in place so that you don't have to spend all day getting there, I think is the easiest part. Like once the systems are in place, then it frees you from having to spend like that whole week getting organized or that whole day. And it's just part of your daily routine. And then you do have more time to read or garden or whatever those hobbies or things you do.
That's good.
Exactly. Yeah.
Miss Barb, are you able, or you may have shared yours too, actually.
No, I hadn't shared because I
kind
of missed some of it. But
That's
a couple of things I wanted to pop in is I'm a girl that collects clothes. So if I ever had somebody come in and tell me I had to get rid of something, usually every piece in my closet has some kind of memorabilia to it. So I don't think that's a fact that you don't have to get rid of anything, and you can make anything stylish. So that's my comment for that. But I loved, Kendra, thanks for sharing your email breakdown, because I had started that and actually started to do digital, where I was scanning I wasn't scanning, I was actually taking pictures with my phone of all my receipts and filing them away in my email folders. So I'm interested in hearing more about your digital process, because that took my assistant a ton of time to do. So wondering if there's a faster, easier way. But I love the email idea. And then if you have any ideas of how to get off some of these, oh my gosh, I unsubscribe to a gazillion things. And it seems like when I unsubscribe, I get 10 emails from them like the next day. So any insights on that? And then I'm just excited to see all the stories and everything, and then go back and watch this of everything that I missed. So hopefully I didn't talk over things you already shared.
Good.
Yeah, my one quick tip on the email, I have this separate email that is like just for stores. So I don't have to look in there ever if I don't want to. And so when you go in the store and they want your email or any other ridiculous thing that wants your email that you don't really care about, you just have to give it, you just give that secret little Gmail account that you never look at. So then you don't have to worry about it. And if you do want to look at it, great, and find some coupons or whatever, but if not, it's just kind of that holding place, you know,
Yeah.
for those junk things. But I have my work email and then kind of that junk collector type email. So that kind of helps keep them separate, and so you're not having everything there in your face all the time.
So good. One thing, Kendra, do you know Unroll.me? It's, I think I used it before. I'm pretty sure it was that one. But there are some systems, and of course you have to be careful, so maybe I should do my homework before I speak to it, but there are systems that you can look into, and I know I did it, and I just can't remember which one it was. Well, yeah, so SaneBox also. Okay, good. But yeah, and I was able to put my email in there, and it was like, you have 3,000 subscriptions, or your email is part of 3,000 or something ridiculous. And then you could just easily go through and uncheck who you didn't want to be subscribed to, because I had that email when I was like 11 years old, I think. So there's a lot.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I should do my homework on which one's safe or not, but I think there are.
Yeah, I'm sure there's some out there. Yeah, that's great. I'll write that down and check into it, because I know those can get, and I have to admit, I'm on my email a lot more than a lot of people, because I am running the business. So I'm constantly on my email. So for me, I just go through and unsubscribe in the moment. And so that way it just never gets out of control. But you know, if somebody's not on their email that often, you may not even realize that, you know, all of a sudden you've got 500 junk emails. Yeah. So I would say, like, you know, maybe even set up a new email account that's your important stuff, and only give that out to like the important people, and then just keep that kind of junk one for all those other things. And then everything's not cluttered in one place.
Yeah, that makes such good sense. Robin, are you able to share a takeaway? You joined in. Welcome. She's able to. Robin is one of our business partners with Family Balance Yoga. She's great. I took her course when I think I was very recent postpartum, I believe. And it was just a perfect like introduction into yoga. And I just loved her courses. So anyways, if you're able to share, Robin, jump in and interrupt me, but I'm not sure if you're able to speak. Oh, she said that she's going to plan to check out the website and look for more ideas. Perfect. Tackle the inbox. Yes, emails. Good. Oh my goodness, you guys, this was so powerful. Kendra, thank you for your time. I'm energized to be able to start to tackle one thing, one baby step. I think that's the biggest thing when anything feels overwhelming, is what is the next best step? As Anna sings in Frozen 2, you guys, the next right thing, right? The next thing that you can do. And that's something I'm definitely going to walk away with personally. The other piece too that was so profound to me was to schedule in the workout, or schedule in because I live off of my calendar, and I've never thought that. I've never thought to actually schedule in, because I always have a plan of running in the morning and then doing my workout. And I think that would actually really help hold me accountable to doing it, since it's in there. So thank you for that too. Okay, well, IOME members, be sure to be on the lookout. We actually have our next event already planned ahead. Look at me go. I'm organized. I am turning over a new leaf. So we are super excited, because in July, so this is for the NOCO event members, but also anybody can come. So if you wanted to take a road trip, come on up, because we're going to do an in-person event, and it's going to be hosted by Spenga, and they do it's strength-based training, yoga, and spinning. So it's a blend of all of those things. And so they're a new boutique fitness company in Fort Collins area, and they are offering outdoor workouts. And so they are going to be giving that to us as an event on, I believe, let me double check, Saturday, July 18th at 9 a.m. And so make sure you put that in, mark your calendar. It's going to be a ton of fun. I'm also going to attempt to stream it somehow, whether it's going to be through Zoom or Facebook Live. So if you are not able to come in person, you could still get your sweat on with us. So be on the lookout for that. And then August, we have plans for doing some stand-up paddleboarding at Horsetooth, which would be so much fun. We did that last summer and it was a blast. So keep on the lookout for that as well. If any of you are watching and you are interested in IOME memberships, be sure to go onto the website. We are so thankful for amazing business partners like Kendra, and we have Francesca on, and I think, and Robin with Family Balance Yoga, and then a few potential partners as well. And so these guys are incredible. You just got like so much from Kendra tonight. Can you imagine if she was like able to speak directly to you and help? And so remember that you guys get some incredible discounts. Kendra personally offering 20% off of her services, which is just so beautiful. It definitely pays for your IOME membership and no problem. And then if you need the extra accountability and the extra support and the weekly check-ins, and that's where we are to be able to hold you accountable to the whatever it is, the getting organized, going through your email inbox, working through past trauma, identifying financial concerns, like whatever that is, that's what IOME is here to help you guys out with. So we are so grateful for you guys. I think that's basically a wrap. Any thoughts or feedback? I will stay on for a minute, but thank you so much for joining, and we love you guys. I'm so grateful for all of you. So enjoy the rest of your evening.